6 million ways to die. Choose one.
They've been described as menace to society, a cancer plaguing our neighborhood. And in the game of life, those who choose to roll the dice can pay the ultimate price. Gang violence paralyzes communities, devastates families, and the problem is getting worse.
Enough respect given, disrespect, and you will not be living. Words of mama, Emma, drama, dilemma.
Smith and his wife were the last known people to see 16-year-old Mace Hutchinson walking shortly before their phone call to 911.
He looked a little agitated, but other than that, he didn't look to be falling down drunk or anything like that.
By the time officers arrived, the teen was off the overpass, lying on the shoulder below along Highway 65, with no good explanation as to how he got there.
According to the doctors, all injuries are consistent with a fall.
And Mace's dad, Don Hutchinson, believes it was just that, a fall, not a jump. The question is why.
They tested his system. He was clean of drugs and alcohol.
Mace's aunt tells us he's undergoing major surgery for a broken back and a broke-off heel. But while he was lying on the ground, she wonders why Ozark police tased him up to 19 times.
He refused to comply with the officers, and so the officers had to deploy their tasers in order to subdue him. He's making incoherent statements. He's also making statements such as shoot cops, kill cops, things like that. So there was cause for concern to the officers.
Mace is still in intensive care tonight.
No, I'm not going to quit. What are you doing? Don't come after me. I ain't the one that ran from you. I've been here the whole time. I have been here the whole time.
Put it down.
I have been...
Okay, he's riding a skateboard. This cop just choked him and I got a picture of it. Come here, front 240. Come here.
Oh, people's lives too. Oh, and you're running from the police. That's bad too. Go, go.
Dude, this is not good, man.
I'm not running. I'm standing right here.
Hey, stop. You're dead right to go. You're going to skateboard and flee you. You know what? Sit down. You're in violation of city order. You're under arrest too. Hey, what the fuck, dude? Sir, she's riding a skateboard. What is wrong with you? She's riding a skateboard. Sir, what the fuck is wrong with you? Hey. Get out of here. I'm riding a skateboard.
Sir. Sir, it's okay.
Get back.
Okay, it's okay.
I'm riding a skateboard. Get your arm behind your back. Oh, God, shit.
Sir.
I was riding this.
Sir, please, put it in. Okay, okay. He costs $50,000.
That's right. Your council cost you $65. See you, Hitler. Oh, the bully's best. Everybody back up. Stay back.
No, get back. Get back.
For the police.
No. He pushed. Get him from my dad. He pushed. The door doesn't open. He pushed.
Let the police handle it.
Oh my God.
Let the police handle it, y'all.
Back up.
Hey, everybody come back inside. It's not part of it. You're a little
Back up.
witness. Hey,
I'm a witness. I got it.
Yeah, you're right. Give me the other hand. Where's this piece of battery? Battery, Jack? How's that? You ain't gonna hit on me. Who hit you, Jack? Take him to jail, please. Who hit you, Jack? Who hit you? Did you trip and fall?
64. You're welcome. He gave you a warning. I didn't think very bad, man. I think I did. I didn't think I did give him the right leg. He got me picked on his stuff. He was 20 years inside. He gave me a ticket, but it was not yet. Yeah, I didn't got no question about this.
So we have a question resident.
You can come and serve to me. I don't know what people police do. Not all right police anyway. They just fuck otherwise. Yeah, right. I don't think about that police. I don't have your money. I don't care if your police or not. No, I'm not gonna know you can't make you wait till my mama get you. I'm underage for that. You're not gonna play with no man.
Under arrest. You come with me.
Anyway.
No, anyway, you're under arrest.
Why did you talk to the manager for us?
I didn't need to talk to your manager.
Don't realize that you not hollering at me. Wait till my mama give you the order. My mama on her way. My mama on her way. First of all, you can stretch her when you talk to my mama.
Come out to my car with me now.
I swear to God, I ain't thought this was real. I swear to God.
Nobody got my money.
I ain't got no money. Oh, you know what? You can stop me right here, boy. I ain't got no money.
Who's crying?
The girl that got attacked, my second cousin.
Okay, what is she hurt?
She has a cut on her nose that's bleeding, and there's a patch of hair on the ground beside the car.
A deputy responds to a report of an assault. Hope Stuffy is identified as the victim, the one who needed help. But when help arrives, things get even worse. He began treating the injured Stuffy not as the victim, but as the troublemaker.
He proceeded to slam her onto the ground.
Oddly enough, the sheriff's dash cam video wasn't turned on when all this was happening. The dash cam wasn't rolling until shortly before Steffi was placed in the back of the officer's squad car. That portion of the video either doesn't exist or wasn't released to Steffi's lawyers. Eventually, Steffi is handcuffed and hauled away to the Stark County Jail to answer questions. Among them, do you have any weapons or sharp objects? Have you ever thought of harming yourself? When Steffi responds, now or ever, she says deputies knock her down and place her feet in a pretzel position. The sheriff denies the allegation. But is there even more video missing? Jailhouse surveillance video. A deputy's handheld camera appears to be rolling as Steffi was escorted to a cell. Her lawyers never received any of this tape, which might show Steffi knocked to the ground again.
Today, special prosecutors say the sheriff's camera was not working at the time.
She says they roughed her up again before they pinned her down on a cell floor and took off all her clothes. The sheriff again denies the allegation, but there's no denying what happened in the video that Steffi's lawyers did obtain. Steffi weighs 125 pounds. She's in handcuffs, face down. Up to 7 individuals working for the sheriff or jail are in the cell. Both women and men deputies forcibly remove all her clothes. Steffi repeatedly questions officers about what they're doing. Steffi pleads for deputies to stop, and when they begin removing her underwear and bra, she begins to scream.
That could be your wife. That could be anybody's wife.
For the next 6 hours, Steffi was left in a cell completely naked, without even a blanket to cover herself.
The last 2 individuals to leave that cell with her completely naked were both men. What would any woman fear? It's just wrong that they do this to people. She called for help. She asked them for help, not for this. Not for this.
Hope Steffi was convicted on misdemeanor charges of resisting arrest and disorderly conduct, but most of the videos seen in this report was never shown at trial.
Yesterday, a grand jury cleared Stark County Sheriff's deputies of criminal wrongdoing.
The video gives us a rare inside look at what can happen to you or a loved one, even if you're the one who calls police for help.
What did she say?
She said she felt like she was raped without penetration.
basically have a situation of an unlawful, intentional killing of one individual by another, and that's all you know, and that's really all we know in this case, then that's a murder.
Police, fire, medical.
Yeah, their car got on fire.
Is it still on fire?
It's on fire right now.
Do you know if they're inside the vehicle?
I don't know. I'm still looking right now.
Okay.
Witnesses say he was naked and burned after his car caught fire.
The man that we were directing our attention at was completely nude, sitting about a foot off of the shoulder, and he was sitting Indian style with kind of bent down with his hands down in front of him, just like this.
On the roadway, saw a naked male subject sitting on the ground, kind of what we called in elementary school Indian style, and he had his hands tucked between his legs and his head down and was kind of just sitting there rocking.
He was down like that, looking down into his own lap. He was covered with blood. Head to toe, every portion of his body had some blood on it.
A lot of his body was just covered in blood, all over his arms, all over his back, his chest, his face, and he just had blood all over him.
He appeared to be burned on the upper portion of his body from the waist up.
As soon as we pulled up, I could see that his skin was brown and it was peeled back and all over his entire body.
As I approached him, I could tell clearly that it was burns. He had loose, hanging, burned flesh, at least a couple of layers down. In addition to that, he had lacerations, small lacerations, and little cuts and things all over him, and also appeared to have dirt and leaves and other things on him.
Skin was charred. He was just covered in blood.
First thing that struck me was that this man is seriously injured. I can see even from clear back at the car, he has burns. He's lost a lot of blood. He's got blood all over himself. He appears to be just kind of catatonic. He's not looking up at us. He's not doing anything. He's just sitting just like this.
Gave him the command to show me his hands, and he showed me his hands right away.
I tell him I don't see a weapon. Do you? And he said no.
Some people thought he might have had a gun.
Deputy Willard and I started to approach him, tell him to get on his stomach.
And I had my taser on the guy, and I'm talking to him the whole way I'm walking up there. And I said, "Sir, we're going to get you some help." And really, as I got up to him and saw him sitting there in the condition of the burns, and I'm sort of assessing him physically, my main concern at that point is, well, two things. One, I decide I'm not going to let this man leave here again. But secondly, and almost as important was, I need to get this man medical help. He needs help right now. But I need to make sure we're safe. We're safe. Make sure we're safe. We're safe. Make sure we're safe. We're safe. So I tell him I need him to turn around and lay down.
And we're like, get on your stomach, get on the ground. And he'd be like, okay, no.
And he looks up at me and he says, no. I said, you've got to do this. I need you to lay down. And he says, no. Again.
Then we had told him to get on his stomach or he'd be tased.
You're going to be tased if you don't lay down. I repeated that several times. And again, he just kind of leaned forward and went back to just ignoring me. At that point, I was just about to deploy the taser. And the Sandy officer deployed the taser.
Discharged my taser weapon and got a good shot with the taser on. Both prongs went in his back. Flopped backwards on the ground. Kind of a few times he just kind of sat there while he was, before I tased him, just kind of sat there and shook his head. After the first time I tased him, just from his behavior and the ineffectiveness of the taser, I even made the comment to Deputy Willard because of his behavior. I'm like, I don't want to get hands-on with this guy.
He did that, the guy on his back, flat out, prone out on his back on the ground, and was shaking a little bit, fairly typical of somebody who is taking an electrical shock. And then, when he was all done, when that 5-second shot was done, I said to him, You need to do what we ask you to do. We need you to get over and lay down on that grass. If you don't do what we ask you to do, you're going to get tased again. You need to do what we're asking you to do. Again, I'm still looking at him and assessing him, and I start thinking, I don't want this guy anywhere near me. And I'm thinking, if he complies, what am I going to do? And if he complies, what am I going to do? He's got blood literally from head to toe, and multiple lacerations and cuts and dirt. And I didn't want to touch this man. I really felt there was a real risk to my safety. I didn't want to touch this man. I really felt there was a real risk to my safety, and to the officer that was there.
Deputy Willard, at this point, I saw that Deputy Willard also had a taser out and attempted to tase him.
I deployed my taser at the same time.
The prongs from my taser were still in him while he was on. So I did another pull of the trigger with the taser.
I noticed it appeared that one of the barbs actually was a good hit, and the other one was in him, and he was getting the shock from my taser, but it wasn't really. It stuck, and it hung on, and he started to get up on his left side. He started to go up on his side towards me, and the Sandy police officer hit the taser again. He fell back on his back, reached back, and knocked my one barb off. Well, I started to go after him to get close enough so that the taser would continue to be effective. Turned and faced us.
And then he started growling again.
And I went for another reload. As soon as, just almost at the same time he turned around, he started screaming, "I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you," and running right towards me.
And then started to charge at Deputy Willard, yelling, "I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you."
There were 9 other witnesses close enough to see and hear everything that happened. Not one of them heard Mr. Cady scream, "I'm going to kill you," at the officers. Not one.
Deputy David Willard told investigators, quote, "He started screaming, 'I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you,' running right towards me. I was scared."
I started to run around the rear of the police car, and I looked back, and he was gaining on me, and he was about 3-4 feet behind me. That's when I decided that this man needed to be stopped. I couldn't let him go. I was scared, and I transitioned to my handgun.
And I got my firearm out. At this point, the subject jumped up onto the hood of my car, still charging towards Deputy Willard.
And he was up on the very top of the Sandy police car, towards the rear window, jumping up and down and screaming, "I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you." I remember clearly yelling 2 things. One, "I'm the police and you need to get down." And I think I yelled, "Shoot." I might not have. I might have just been thinking it. But in any case, when it appeared he was going to leap off of the car at me, I fired
several shots at him.
And then it appeared that he was going to come towards us, but down towards the trunk. I fired one more round, and he fell on his back, right against the lower right rear window, and then hit the car, slid off of the car head first. I remember hearing his head hit the ground. And my actual thought was, it's weird, it was all in slow motion, but my actual thought was, I can't let this man get me. I can't let him touch me. He has to be stopped, but I can't let him touch me because of the blood. Because of the blood. And the blood thing was really bothering me.
I just knew that he was either had a very bad mental health problem or was definitely under the influence of drugs or a combination of both.
According to witnesses, there was something wrong with Cady that morning. Witnesses say he looked like he was high.
Catatonic.
The Sandy police officer involved in the shooting is already back at work. The deputy involved is not back to work yet, but could resume duties before this internal review is finished.
A shooting review board cleared 2 officers in the shooting of Fuad Katie last September.
And the Sheriff's Office Shooting Review Board also determined that the deputy did not violate policy.
Those officers were justified.
No criminal wrongdoing in the shooting.
There was not enough evidence to file criminal charges against the 2 officers involved.
The Board of Police members reviewed the case. The Board of Police members reviewed the case. The Board of Police members reviewed the case.
Communicating with CCOM from the moment he stepped out of his car to the moment that Fuad Katie lay dead at his feet.
Edward 2.
To Edward 2.
Oh, 3 medical. And a couple more cars here.
Have you been confirmed location? I know it showed 362 in Van Eater crossing. Edward 2, confirm your location. Edward 2, can you confirm your location on 362?
To Edward 2, code 3 medical, shots fired.
Blood vein is really bothering. Blood vein is really bothering. He has to be stopped, but I can't let him touch me because of the blood. He's not doing anything. He's just sitting just like this.
The first thing they said to me, if I yelled or making any noise, they kill me.
You may remember that Abner Louima was allegedly beaten and horribly sodomized with a toilet plunger inside the 70th Precinct house last summer.
They told the sergeant that they wanted to file a complaint. And he says, the name of the person, he said, I want to file a complaint about Abner Louima.
And their response?
He ignored them. And another police officer came out, a sergeant, and he says, you can't make a complaint here.
To be a victim of a crime is one thing, but what if you were the victim of an abusive police officer? What if you witnessed a cop actually beating someone up? What could you do about it? Ironically, might you have to tell another police officer of your complaint?
How do I go about filing a complaint against the cop?
Really, it's just a form that I can just fill out.
I don't know how to file a complaint.
Is there a form or something? Is there just something I can fill out? You guys don't have like a complaint form or anything?
How you go about filing a complaint? I want to know if I can get a complaint form so I can take with me.
You got like a form, something I can take? A form? You got a form?
I'm trying to find out how to file a complaint against an officer.
Which officer would that be?
I mean, like I just wanted to find out how to do it right now. I mean, that's what I
Well, you can talk to me.
So there's not like a form or something like that? So there's not a complaint form that I can just like, there's nothing I can just like get and take and fill out? That ain't the way it works.
I want to file a complaint, but is there like a form, something I can take with me? I'm just saying this was an incident that happened before, but I'm just ticked off about it. I don't feel like getting into that. That's the reason.
I mean, there's no reason. I can't give you a complaint.
But it's just a form.
Get into it. I know what it is, but I need to know what it's about.
A lot of people will come off the street just to file a complaint to say, I want to get money from this police department. I want to sue you for whatever because they're making up. Did it happen tonight? Did it happen anything with this officer?
So is there just, there's not like just a form that I can just take? Something like that?
Am I not speaking English? I'm not speaking English?
Because the way it works, they'll interview you with a tape, and then they'll talk to the officer, they'll do an investigation, and if your allegation is unfounded, the officer has the right to sue you.
We have to take names to know how this is going. We just don't give people no names.
And
I would feel that you got something to hide, and if you're this suspicious or this secret. We're arrested before, right?
What?
When this incident occur? I don't want to get into it, you know. I'm just trying to find out.
Okay, sir. Let me see your driver's license. 124, I need you to 1019 PD, please, the lobby. I need a subject here in the lobby because he's using the ID.
I'm just trying to... Yeah, I got ID.
Can I see it?
Do I have to give it?
Well, you're going to have to tell us who you are if you're making a report.
Nah, that's all right then, man.
Oh, I need to see your ID still.
That's cool.
First of all, why don't you tell me what happened, and I'll tell you if somebody did something wrong to you.
I mean, like, I feel like I know, like, I mean, if somebody did something wrong, I mean, like, you know.
Well, maybe not. Sometimes people don't.
Sir, tell me what happened.
Officer, Mac, how you say your name?
I'm asking you where this happened.
I don't even want to get off into that.
What?
I don't want to get off into that.
Can I ask you your name?
I just want to get off into that, to that sergeant.
Is it a traffic ticket? Is it something that, you know, discourtesy complaint? What is it? He stole your lunch money? Did he steal your money? Did he, you know, have sex with your wife? What?
The complaint now. I'm going to take the complaint. So you got to speak to me so we can discuss this and see what we can do. Speak to me about it. You got psychological problems or what? Where did this happen?
Sir,
Please, please.
I want to know how you go about filing a complaint on a cop. You got, is that somebody can fill out?
You have to tell me about it first.
You got some document or something?
Not until I hear from you. You gotta tell us what happened.
You got like a form something I can take? A form? You got a form?
Not until I know. She wasn't there at school.
You told me about it. You know
I told you, Sergeant, it's about abuse.
I need to know who it was, whether they work here or not, what the abuse was.
Now, I'm saying that I want to be able to fill something out that says that, you know, more or less, this is my situation and what went down.
I need to know what that situation is. You can think about it and come back. I think that's a good idea. Think about it, come back. I think that's your best course of action. I'm in.
And that's it.
That's it. Take it easy.
We don't give you a form.
Where do you live?
I don't really want to say.
You don't want to say?
No.
Where you going? You want to play hardball? We play hardball. I want ID.
For what?
Because I'm asking you for ID right now. That's why.
Here.
Hand it to me.
Here.
Hand it to me.
Here.
Hand it to me.
Are you kidding me?
Hand me your ID.
Here.
I said he's giving it to you. Hand me your ID.
Are you kidding me?
Hand me your ID.
Is this
What are you doing here? This is very...
I came to ask you how to file a complaint.
Right, and this is very suspicious here.
Asking how to file a complaint is suspicious.
Why don't you shut up? I said this is very suspicious that you pull in here at this time of night. He comes up...
8 o'clock.
You're constantly butting in.
I'm constantly butting in?
Sir, I would like to leave.
I would love it, but he's got your driver's license, so you're just going to have to sit.
So are you detaining us? Okay, could I give you a ticket right now for improper backing? You can do whatever you want to do, I suppose.
Yeah, I wanted to find out how to file a complaint against an officer. I just wanted to find out how to do it. You guys have a form or something that I could take with me?
Well, you got to tell me first, and then I got to hear what's going on. You got to tell me what the complaint is.
Do you have a complaint form that I can, like, fill out or something like that?
Might not be a legitimate complaint.
Who decides that?
Do you have an ID on you?
Why?
You know what? You need to leave.
Why?
I'm gonna tell you one more time, because I can't do this anymore with you.
I was just asking if you guys have, like, a complaint form or, like, if there's some way for me to contact Internal Affairs.
You can do whatever the hell you want. It's a free country.
Why are you cursing at me?
Where do you live? Where do you live? All right, first of all, so you're not going to tell me where you live, what your name is, or anything like that, right?
I mean, if you're gonna, like, if I ask...
Are you on medication?
Why would you ask me something like that?
Because you're not answering any of my questions.
So I'm on medication?
I asked you. It's a free country. I can ask you that.
Okay, you're right.
So you're not going to tell me who you are. You're not going to tell me what the problem is. You're not going to identify yourself.
All I asked you was, like, how do I contact them?
You said you had a complaint. Leave now. Leave now.
How pretty one is it?
Leave now. You better keep walking, son, before you get yourself into some trouble.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
Neither am I. It's a free country. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Why did you get out of my face?
I'm not in your face. I'm standing. Sidewalk, free country. One more step towards me, see what happens.
I didn't step towards you, man.
Take one more step towards me, see what happens.
I just want to make sure it's our department you're talking about. When you say you cops.
Yeah, I know where I am.
This is Pine Line Police Department. You didn't see the sign out there when you say you cops? Do you want to visit my jail cell instead?
Can you tell me how to make an official complaint?
What officer are you talking about? And what's the incident about? Because what it means is, I'm asking you a specific question. You cops means all cops. Is you making a complaint against a pylon police officer? That's why I asked you when you cops, who are you talking about?
Yeah. I want to know how to make a complaint against the
Which
pylon
officer is it?
police officer. Can you tell me how to make the complaint, please?
You're going to have to talk to me eventually anyway.
So you're not going to give me a complaint form? You're not allowed to give me that complaint form? Or you just won't?
I might be speaking a foreign language to you. You have to contact the chief. He's the only one that hands out the forms.
And that's your policy? That's your official policy?
That's our official policy.
I left the police department when he told me that their official policy was not to give out complaint forms after hours. And that was the only thing that I wanted him to tell me.
He thought it was over until Sergeant Clay met him outside and said, "Get out of my city."
Yeah, get out of your city, and what happens if I don't? And what happens if I don't? You put me under arrest?
Yep, you're under arrest. Come on.
I'm under arrest for what? Man, what are you doing to me, man? What are you doing, man?
Hey, open the door. JJ don't get it.
What am I under arrest for, man?
So you comply.
Comply with what?
You're in a government building, man. Do you understand what government know what that means? You're on government property. Do you understand what that means?
Sidewalk?
It says that you guys have like a complaint form.
Right, but that's after you talk to the
Okay, then can I talk to the supervisor? No, not really, man. I've been standing out here just trying to get a complaint form, man.
You don't want to talk to me?
No, I don't want to stand out here and talk to some cop about this now.
Okay.
Okay, man, can I get a complaint form?
In reference to?
A formal complaint against the cop, man. I told her. I've been standing out here forever.
Okay, I'm the one to fix that. I just need to know what's in reference to.
You need to know what it's in reference to? Why can't you hand me that complaint form, man?
Because that's my form,
That's
and I'm
your
the one
form?
to fix it.
You mean you can't take that and leave? You can't take that and leave. The citizen can't come in here and take that and leave.
Well, I generally talk to them first.
Well, I'm not talking about generally, man. I'm talking about... Why? What are you doing, man? What are you doing, man? Oh,
They call you in for me?
I don't know.
Oh.
You here to make a complaint?
Yeah, well, no, I want to find out how to do it first.
Can I get your name?
Rich.
And your last name?
What for?
Do you have a driver's license on you? So let me see your license.
Well, what if I don't have it on me? That's, you know.
Failing to identify yourself, I can take you and put you in jail. All right? Is that what you want?
No, I don't want to go there.
Okay, give me your license then.
I don't want to go there.
Hey, I'm talking to you.
Okay.
Identify yourself with some form of identification.
I don't want to go to jail. I didn't do nothing wrong.
Okay.
I just came here to find out, what the deal is. It's cool.
Give me some identification. I'm talking to you right now.
Look, man, don't hit me or nothing. You know, I didn't do.
Don't walk away.
I'm
telling you to stop.
Okay, I'm right here.
Now I'm asking you for some identification. Do you want to identify yourself?
I did not do nothing wrong, man.
Nothing says you did.
But what is this? You know, I don't get this. You know, I'm a little.
He just wants some identification.
Cool, I understand that.
He just wants to know who you are.
But I don't. For what though? You know, I just work around here and then I go. That's it. You know, I didn't do nothing wrong.
You're required by law to identify yourself to a peace officer when you request.
Well, what if I don't have it? That's the whole thing, you know?
You just told me.
Yeah, but okay, then what if I don't want to give it?
You're reaching for your pocket.
What if I don't want to give it up? That's the whole thing.
Then I take you to jail.
You're required by law.
Then I take you to jail.
I'm just gonna go. Jesus Christmas.
Hello, I'm asking you who you want to identify yourself to. Okay, I don't want to do that, but does that mean I get arrested for not telling you who I am? And it's called field ID. What I'm asking you is who you want, your name. Okay, well, I just would like to meet you.
At that point, he walked from the front of the police department about a quarter mile up here to Highway 6. He was expecting to be picked up by an unmarked news vehicle. But instead, he was greeted by flashing lights and a return visit from Sergeant Thomas.
We're trying to help you out. I don't want any help. Right now, I feel like I'm being harassed. Now, I don't want to answer any questions. I'm not doing anything but walking. I'm under arrest for what? Number one, failing the ID. Number two, walking on the wrong side of the road at highway. You can be arrested for that? Yes, you can.
Okay. Well, I explained to you earlier. I says, if you don't tell me what's up, I'm not giving you nothing. Well, what's your name?
And, an officer I didn't want to tell you my name. Honestly, I don't want to get into it like that. I just came in to get some documentation, something of that nature, so if it's a complaint, something of that nature, I can fill out a complaint and have it heard and go on from there. But, I mean, if you telling me that, you know, you find something to arrest me on, I mean, that's the problem right there. You go get your form.
So, if he doesn't do the investigation, then well, depending on what it is, somebody else.
Come back in there. Come back. Come over. Put your hands down. Now, see, there's got to be a real particular reason why you don't want to tell me who you are. And I'm really getting a little upset by this. Yeah, I have my ID in my back pocket, officer. It's in my back pocket right there. I'm not trying to... I got nothing better to do than play games with you? Huh? You walk into my station, you don't want to answer my questions, and you expect me to tell you what you think you want to hear? What's the last thing you went to jail for? Huh? You're either going to tell me now, or you're going to tell me in about 2 seconds when I take you to Atlantic Station and book you. You understand me? What is your name? I did. I asked you a question. What is your name? My name is Paul Wesley Parker III.
Now, how hard is that, Mr. Parker, Wesley, whatever it is? Where do you live? Put your hands on the counter right there. Do not get your hands off that counter for any reason in this earth. You understand me?
I got you.
Okay. They come off that counter for any other reason than I tell you to take them off that counter. You're going to pay a visit downtown at the hospital ward. You understand me?
On a windswept Chicago corner, a shot in a beer tavern where the working class goes to shoot pool and quietly drink into the early morning hours. Behind the bar, little Carolina Obrecht serving a handful of customers, including off-duty Chicago police officer Anthony Abate. Carolina says she tried to ignore him as he verbally abuses her. Then he crosses the line.
And he gets right away behind the bar with a chair. I tell him to get out. That's when he tells me, nobody will tell me what to do. I try to get him out of behind the bar, and then boom. He's like trying to grab my neck. Then he throws me on the floor. I was down, and he was beating me. I remember he was hitting like my head. I was like sitting on the floor. You don't know if he wants to beat you until you bleed and you die. I thought that he would never stop beating me.
Abate then storms out. Chicago cops come to take a report from the bar owner who's just arrived. But surprisingly, they ignore his key evidence.
He told these police officers, I have a videotape on a video camera that was running in the bar that night. I want to show it to you so you can see exactly what he did. And the police officers walked out of the bar and left.
Without the videotape as evidence, amazingly, Abate is only charged with a misdemeanor. A group of off-duty police officers drinks way into the morning. Meanwhile, across the bar, 4 friends, businessmen, are at the billiard table peacefully at play. Suddenly, for no apparent reason we can see on the tape, the off-duty cops start a confrontation, sweeping the balls away and slamming the pool cue to the table. Watch now as another officer approaches one of the men from behind. The businessmen are knocked to the floor, choked. Another is slammed down on the table itself, then to the floor, where he's put in a headlock and pummeled. One of the men is pushed outside the bar by 2 cops. He starts to make a cell phone call for help, but when an officer later identified as Sergeant Jeffrey Planey notices, he grabs the phone and violently shoves the man to the wall. The 4 businessmen have suffered numerous injuries from the brutal beatings. Broken ribs, broken nose, herniated disc, contusions all over, and much more. 911 calls from inside the bar manage to get through, but 9 police vehicles roll up and then quickly roll away after being greeted by the same Sergeant Planey. A car weaves down a Kentucky road. Suspecting a drunk driver, Officer Adam Brown pulls him over.
Sir, what's going on tonight? Mr. Crank, where you work for? Newport PD? Oh, come on now. We're cops now.
They discuss the implications of arresting a fellow policeman.
You're right. It's a catch-22, and it would stir up a hornet's nest. Whatever you want to do, I'm going to support. First of all, you're on tape right now. Every bit of this is recorded. Do you have any idea what would happen if this tape got into the media or got out in the public?
And in the end, Brown confides to his fellow officer he can't bring himself to make the arrest.
I can't do it.
So after almost 50 minutes of agonizing, Officer Brown upheld the code of silence, even though he knew he was breaking state law. He let his fellow officer go. Well, in Chicago, drunk driving off-duty police officers may have killed at least 5 innocent civilians over the last 3 years.
They do absolutely nothing, covering up their misconduct and not punishing them for any misconduct that they engage in emboldens these police officers essentially to believe that they're above the law.
New research also concluded that cops routinely get away with abusive behavior.
The code of silence is very real. Don't rat out other cops. If you do, there'll be real consequences.
University of Chicago law professor Craig Futterman had an exclusive look at 2 years of dirty laundry of the Chicago police. He was given access to more than 10,000 complaints of police abuse. Just 19 of those resulted in what he calls meaningful discipline, suspension for a week or more.
There are officers who have as many as 50 complaints against them in the last few years.
There's never been discipline, never been flagged.
No matter how many complaints, he says, the cop culture, that code of silence, protects them.
Whenever a police officer murdered or shoot a citizen, it always 2 or 3 days later before anyone have access to that officer. You know why? Because they get together and they try to make their story.
Looking back, several other grand juries cleared police officers in controversial shooting.
The Board of Police members reviewed the case. The Board of Police members reviewed the case. The Board of Police members reviewed.
Go!
It was a really mixed crowd. You know, there's kids going to the concert, college kids, families, delegates, security, police, you know, just a wide array of people there for a whole different reasons. But at this point, the police were just basically forming a big line. They had police on cavalry, they had police on bicycles, and then they had the regular riot cops who were reinforced by National Guard. All in gas masks, all in full riot gear. The police steadily started moving in towards the park, okay? And we're filming, and CNN's filming, and, you know, the concert's right across the river, you know, and everyone was just kind of hanging out, mellowing out. And the police slowly started to move down the street and create a line. Other than just people being upset about not being able to get to work and not being able to get to the show, there was no sort of protester confronting the police other than, you know, verbally. And so, but they slowly started to surround us. And I think everyone stayed calm up to a point because, you know, we knew that we hadn't done anything wrong, and we were all just hanging out. And then just basically out of nowhere, the police tightened in, and everyone's kind of getting nervous at this point. And they get on the bullhorn and they say, "Ladies and gentlemen, you're all under arrest."
Ladies and gentlemen, you're under arrest. Please be seated.
What I want is for
disrespected me, this badge, and my department.
Talk back to me again. And I bet I say you resisted arrest or something. You want to come up with something? I come up with 9 things. Do you want to try something? No, I don't. Ever get smart about what a cop again? I show you what a cop does.